middle of May in today's video. We've got some pretty dismal looking charts actually in the models this morning. Quite concerning seeing the pressure patterns that which models are coming up with as we go out towards the second week of May into the middle of the month. Looks like it could be really quite unsettled indeed. Now, for a video, I just want to explain that I'm still a bit sore with my mouth, so I hope you can understand what I'm trying to say. Got a bit of discomfort still going on from the operation I had last week. It's getting better all the time, but you may just struggle to hear some of the points I'm trying to get across in this video, and if you do, sorry for that, and I hope you'll bear with me. So I'm going to start off with today's weather first of all. Really glorious day across many parts of the country today, and we've got temperatures shooting up. Now I'm doing this video exactly at 12:23 on Tuesday, and we see that temperatures are already going up into the high teens or low 20s. So there's Churchill Author, for instance, at 19 degrees. Let's try a few more places. Cranfield at 19 degrees, Bryce Norton 19, Little Risington at 19, Birmingham Airport at 20 degrees. So we're going up towards the 20 degree mark across many parts of the country just at the moment. We're going to continue to rise those temperatures for the next few hours, so I think we can be expecting temperatures up to 22, 23 degrees in some parts of the country through the course of this afternoon. So we're into the low 70s Fahrenheit comfortably, I think, across many parts of the country this afternoon. Glorious sunshine as well, really nice day. Do get out and make most of it, because it's not going to last. If we have a look at the GFS model for tomorrow, we see we've got this area of low pressure coming in from the Atlantic at 990 millibars. That's going to start to be cloud and rain across the country. So if we run through the charts, we can see that we are going to have a band of rain here across Ireland, Wales, southwestern England through the course of tomorrow morning. And then that's going to push northwards and eastwards across many parts of the country through the course of Wednesday. Now, the rain in the south will probably be quite light and patchy, but from Wales and the Midlands northwards, that rain will be a good deal heavier and quite persistent as well. And following along behind that rain will be some pretty heavy showers through the course of Wednesday afternoon into the north and west. Some of those showers could be accompanied by hail and thunder. And then as we go into Thursday, we're going to deepen the low pressure and push a secondary trough through. That could bring some really windy weather in across England and Wales through the course of Thursday. Maybe gales along some southern coastal counties, and also some quite heavy showers will come into the west as well around this hook of rain here, but we have across Ireland through the course of tomorrow morning. That will start to spread north and east across the country through the course of Thursday afternoon. So really quite a unsettled spell coming up from tomorrow onwards, so do make most of today's fine weather. Now, as we go out beyond that, we're going to see some very unsettled weather potentially starting to develop as we move through in towards next week. We've got this trough here sitting across the country on the 8 to 10 day 500 millibar height anomaly. We've got the ECMWF here on the left, GFS is on the right. This is taking us from around a week's time, so in towards the middle of the month. Let's see what the actual date on that will be. It will be the 14th to the 17th of the 14th to the 17th of May. This is taking us from, again, 500 millibars, 80,000 pieces to the area in the atmosphere where weather is happening. We've got high pressure, low pressure being moved around by a jet stream. The blue colour here indicates a deep trough sitting just to the west and the southwest of the British Isles, and we've got this blocking in the Atlantic here around this area of above average height, indicated by the orange colours there, and of course we've got some blocking up over the pole as well, so we're stuck between two areas of high pressure. We're under a trough there. That's really quite a deep trough as well. GFS very similar, again the trough is there, we haven't got quite so much blocking up to the north and the northeast of the country, but we are still under the trough here on the GFS for 8 to 10 days time with the ridge in the Atlantic. So both of these 500 millibar means are really quite unsettled and would be pretty cool as well. GFS temperature ensembles show that we're above average just at the moment. We're going to stay above average for the next day, but then the temperatures will dip away, and for the rest of the ensemble, those temperatures really hover around the mean or maybe a little bit below in some instances. Remember, the red line here is the average for time of year. We're going to be generally below that red line, I think, for the foreseeable future once we get today's warm weather out of the way. And quite a few precipitation spikes here across the ensemble chart, indicating there will be some really quite unsettled weather. This is for Manchester. If you have a look at London, not quite so many precipitation spikes, but still some coming through, but almost more unsettled in the north and west, less so in the south and east, of course. The temperature anomalies for the next week, 7th to 14th of May, are going to be a little bit under average, to be honest, for the next week. Pretty cool across many central parts of Europe as well, so quite a cool spell coming up. That's despite today's very warm weather, and the precipitation anomalies a little bit above average in the northwest, a little bit drier than average in the southeast. That's just really backing up what we just saw on that ensemble. Always more precipitation up to the northwest, less so in the south and the east. But once we go beyond that, I think we are looking at weather turning very unsettled even in the south and the east. So if you have a look at the generic charts from Morris, this is Project This is Saturday, Saturday the 11th of May. Low pressure up to the north, high pressure to the south in this broad westerly flow. That's quite cool and showery. As we move through to Sunday, we've got that ridge of high pressure coming into the south, but the low pressure is still dominating to the north. It's always drier in the south, more showers to the north. And then as we go beyond that, what we're going to find is this area of low pressure deepening here to the north of the country as we run through next week. We're going to start to find that low pressure swinging in with pressure dropping across the south, so turning more unsettled across the country from the north and the west through next week. As we get through towards the middle of next week, we have this trough of low pressure setting up right over the top of the country. We saw that on the 500 millibar height anomaly, as that trough of low pressure is setting up there more or less over the country, and that eventually is going to start to move out of the way, out to the west of the country, with this ridge of high pressure developing up to the north and the northwest of the country. Now, this is very unsettled looking charts with this trough of low pressure. We'll be bringing heavy rain, I think, even down into the south of the country, and that pressure blocking in the Atlantic is quite concerning. ECMWF is very similar for Saturday in that broad westerly flow running through. What we're going to find is that the trough of low pressure deepens around Iceland early next week and then starts to swing in across the country. So by the time you get through to the middle of next week, that low pressure is sitting just to the southwest of environment. But really, we've got low pressure dominating over the country. And we've got this blocking area of high pressure out of the Atlantic going up to the north as well. And what we find eventually is that we get this block developing around the north of Scandinavia. Not sure about that, but this is very unsettled for later next week. There would be some quite heavy rain, even in the south. With that, the GEM and Canadian model game broad westerly flow for Saturday. Running through the charts, we find that low pressure around Iceland deepening early next week, bringing rain down even into the south, and then it starts to die south again with a block of high pressure in the Atlantic, ridging up towards Greenland. That low pressure is swinging south down across the country, taking quite a bit of rain, even down in the south. By the time we get to 10 days out, which is Friday the 17th of May, that low pressure is still sitting there to the south, blocking to the north. We're back more or less there to the pattern from the winter, really, blocking to the west and to the north, low pressure tracking to the south. That's more or less a pattern we had on and off all winter, and into that ferociously cold March as well. We're more or less back there with more unsettled weather and pretty cool weather as well. But jet stream, the black line, diving south around that trough, so in the cool, on the cool side of the jet, and it's very unsettled with showers and longer spells of rain. So it does look as though after today's lovely weather, the conditions are going to be deteriorating. Not a dramatic deterioration, but we're going to have some showers of rain coming up tomorrow and into Thursday. Then showery over the weekend, mainly dry in the south, but showery in the north. And then next week could get really very unsettled and cool. Quite concerning to see that trough of low pressure swinging down and sitting around the British Isles from the middle of next week onwards. Would be really quite cool and unsettled, if that's right. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. It's a 5-day forecast tomorrow, so come back to that, but that's all for now.